What's going on, friends and family? My name is Skylent, and today we are going to be talking about the popularity and the population of games, okay? Yes, we're going to be talking about, does population matter? How much does it matter? What do you guys feel about it? I'm just starting the conversation here. I'm just starting the dialogue. I'm telling you how I feel. And basically the question is, should population be weighted in reviews? Does popularity matter? I don't know. You could reword it a bunch of ways. I don't know how I'm going to put it in the title, but there it is, guys. You clicked on it. You know what the topic is. And yeah, just type away in the comments below, and I'm going to let you know how I feel here. Anyway, you probably already know. Now that I think about it, I've mentioned this throughout tons of top 10s, tons of impression videos, reviews. I like to mention the popularity of a game because the kind of reviews I do generally are going to be like reviews where it's not day one. It's not day one, and normally it's sort of like a year after the fact, or, you know, we're doing like a re-review or re-first impression, and we kind of do updates on games, especially since I do kind of focus on MMOs and multiplayer games. So those games, a little bit, you know, weightier than others, and it's different genres, kind of need a player base. And not only do they need a player base, but, you know, depending on their player base and the trends, that can, you know, create sort of like a trend of content creation for the games, especially, you know, free-to-play MMOs. The more people, then, you know, they can have different kinds of monetizations, and it enhances, like, maybe they'll do more DLCs, more actual physical content, and if it's a lower population, then they won't do true physical content, and it'll be more cosmetics and stuff. And so, like, population directly impacts what happens in the future of that game, obviously. You know, more money, more stuff, actually. But it also impacts you immediately. As a new player in a lot of these games, the popularity of a game like Black Desert Online. If Black Desert Online had like 2 people playing it, if it was just a single player game, it essentially wouldn't be a game. You really wouldn't be able to do anything in the game, kind of, not really. Because the end game, the overall scope of things, even though you do a whole lot of stuff solo and kind of AFK, true, but if you didn't have all those players running around in the economy, if you didn't have, you know, the overall threat of PvP, and you didn't have, you know, the world bosses, how are you going to do the world bosses alone? I don't know. You just wouldn't have a real game. Where there's other games, even in the MMO genre, that might be able to exist with a lower player base, kind of like WildStar. WildStar focused on that group content, so you need just 5 players, enter dungeons, and, you know, do the end game stuff, and that can kind of work. In fact, it worked amazingly with Guild Wars 1, fantastically. And there's some other games that could probably work as well that I could name, and actually one of those is going to be Reflex, which is in the gameplay of the background here. This is a game that I just reviewed, and I mentioned, I would say, to a detriment, that the population basically doesn't exist. And, like, the population isn't just low. I'm not talking about, like, thousands of players playing the game, you know, like 8,000. I'm talking, like, dozens of players in a day. It's basically like nobody plays the game. Even on its launch day, I could not find a single full server. Yeah, so... but then again, at the same time, Reflex is an arena shooter that focuses on 1v1 combat, so yeah, it's also a LAN game, which was an argument brought up whenever I talked about fighting games on PC. I said that, you know, fighting games on PC, nobody really plays them online, and so there's really no point in playing them on PC. Might as well get a PS4 and play them, you know, online there where the population is. But some of you guys said that it's okay to buy $60 games on PC, even if generally they're garbage and nobody really plays them, because the fighting games are normally couch competition games. You know, you're normally LAN games. Same thing with party games as well. So yeah, this is a game that I guess you would set up your own server, you set up your own LAN event, and you would play it, and I guess you could get your money out of it, you get some time out of it, and have some fun, I guess. And maybe that works, and maybe that's okay, but still, I believe that talking about the population in certain games, even if it's weighted more in others and less in others, whatever, I still think that it needs to come up, and it needs to be said. So I'm not somebody who would constantly reference other reviewers' scores. I don't think that really matters. Sale numbers don't really matter to me. You know, download numbers, I don't give a fluck about that. What really matters is the consistent player base. That's what really matters about games. Otherwise, all those mobile games that are on the top charts, that's just fueled by a bunch of ignorant whales, and it's, you know what I'm saying? Very few of those games are actually legitimately fun games, legitimately very good games. They're very shallow. So I know the popularity of a game, the sales of a game, doesn't directly translate to how good the game is. However, what I'm saying is, okay, I just want to clarify that some games, you know, if they have lower or more population, directly enhances the overall competitiveness of the game, such as League of Legends being infinitely more competitive than something like Heroes of Newerth, okay? And I think that sometimes if your population is too small, it will directly affect you as a player in a negative way. Like, you're just not going to get the fullest amount out of a game. So for instance, imagine if Overwatch had the population of Reflex. You would essentially run into the, basically like block and load. Have you guys tried to play block and load lately? It takes forever to find a match. In fact, I try to jump in every once in a while, and I literally just don't find matches. And yet, it's one of my, I would put it in my top 10 favorite games of all time. I seriously love that game. It's a hero shooter with like building mechanics. I think Minecraft meets Overwatch, and it's pretty fucking cool. Anyways, so because that game has no population, and there's like, I don't think you can make servers or make a LAN event at all, so it's essentially a non-game. Like, there's almost no point in playing it unless you can somehow get a bunch of your friends online at one time and hope that you guys get match made together, I guess. Yeah, it's weird. Reflex is a little bit of a different story, though, because it does have LAN enabled. But, okay, so anyways, I just wanted to say that. You know, the popularity of a game, I know it's not going to matter in every game. Yeah, okay, or like single-player games. It just doesn't matter in single-player games a lot of the times. But still, and what I'm talking about is going to be the online games and the genres where it matters. And I think what we could do is parallel it real quick to, sometimes reviews will talk about different genres and kind of give them, I guess, kind of like leeway with certain things. And I kind of did it with the For Honor video. I said that the campaign, I was like, it's kind of not great, but for a fighting game, it's pretty good for a fighting game, because a lot of the times they don't have campaigns. Hey, Overwatch doesn't have a campaign either. You know, so a lot of games and genres get kind of passes by reviewers. You know, like Overwatch, 10 out of 10. But Overwatch doesn't have any other additional game modes whatsoever, and it has microtransactions, and its updates are incredibly slow. Is it really a 10 out of 10 game? It's my favorite game of all time, but is it really a 10 out of 10? That's kind of weird saying that, but for me personally, yes, Overwatch is my favorite game. It's my most played game right now. Yet, I still would not call it a 10 out of 10, and I would not recommend it at a full $60 price tag, even though it's my favorite game. Why? Because it's not fully featured, and it's not, I don't think it's for everybody. It's just, like, not. It's actually, even though it can be very casual, it's inherently a very competitive shooter, so I don't think it is for everybody. Anyways, that's just how I view reviews. So, and if we translate that back to, you know, popularity, okay? So, if a game like WildStar, okay, has a low population, I would say that it's kind of more fine. But if, you know, if a game like Albion Online, which actually has population issues right now, if Albion Online had a low population, it would, like, if it had a high population, I would give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's a pretty fucking amazing game. But at a low population, all that number goes down based on the population. I like to a 7, to a 5, to basically it needs a population. It needs to be popular for it to survive. Probably more than any game, actually. Really, like it's pretty serious. I mean, I guess at least you could jump into the game, unlike Block and Load. So fuck, I wish Block and Load had people to play with. So yeah, it does matter more than other games, and basically that's not really up for debate. I'm pretty sure that's pretty objective. Yeah, the popularity of a game, you could buy a game like Strike Vector, like minimum, and actually there's been tons of games that I spent money on that literally 0 players play them, and yet I think they would be inherently very good games, and in fact, you'll see the reviews are positive, if not very positive in a lot of the games where just nobody plays them anymore. So, are they? Are they actually good games? No, they're non-games. They don't exist. You literally cannot play the games. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, I want to know just kind of your thoughts and opinions, how weighted certain genres are, you know, which games can kind of get away with low populations, like fighting games. If nobody plays, like, you know, Street Fighter 2 online, which, I mean, I don't know how popular it's going to be on the Switch, probably really popular, but anyways, let's just imagine that, you know, Street Fighter 2, nobody plays online. Well, you still have one of the best games of all time, you know, granted, if it's a good remake on the Switch, you probably have one of the best fighter games ever, and, you know, you could play that with your friend next to you, I guess, so super neat, dude. You could do that. It'd be pretty fun. Except for, oh yeah, the Switch doesn't have proper D-pads. That's right. I forgot about that. We'll see how that works. Anyways, so yeah, which genres are good with the, you know, population control, stuff like that, which ones are not. And also, if you just want to kind of rant about certain games that don't have a population, then actually, I'm going to use this video kind of as a launch pad. If you made it to the end of the video, I would, you know, I'm glad, thank you. But I wanted to have a little conversation additionally here. So what I'm planning to do, because you guys know I have been streaming lately, however, I have to stop streaming because I'm poor now, so I need to make money, so we're going to mostly do, you know, videos and top 10s. However, I still plan to stream 1 day a week, right? And I want that to really matter. So what I want to do is actually, we're all going to play together, okay? From now on, we're playing together, guys. It's us. It's not just the Sky Show. It's not me just to, you know, play the brandest, newest freaking games. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go pick one game every week. Join the Discord, guys. Links in the description if you guys want to know what game that's going to be every week. And we're going to pick that one game, and we're all going to play it. You know, we're going to repopulate it. It could be a popular game. It most likely will probably be somewhere in between. But we can go into like these lower population games, such as Block and Load, or maybe Hawken, or, you know, some free-to-play game that, you know, you need people to play with, maybe like Dungeon Defenders. And we'll all jump in. We'll have a blast. We'll stream it. Maybe I'll do an extra video or two. I'll get some B-roll for the editorials. Maybe you guys will see your names up here, you know, in YouTube fame, all like 12 people that watch the videos, and it'll just be a good time. So yes, I think population really matters to a game, to the point where I aim to play popular games for a number of different reasons. You know, even meta reasons, the surrounding community, you know, the videos, actually watching the videos and stuff like that. If like, okay, I play Dark Souls, but I don't ever plan to play Demon Souls, right? Because Dark Souls is significantly more popular, and there's just kind of more to do outside of the games as well. And there's extra resources from the game, so that I can, you know, create my own challenge runs and stuff in that game. And that's just an example. So yeah, the popularity affects the games in almost every single way, in my opinion, and even games like single player games to an extent. But yeah, anyways, the conversation to be had is to how much weight, what genres, stuff like that, and also what games should people play? What games are unpopular should people play? Man, I'll tell you one game. Ending it right here, guys. I wish Nosgoth had more players. Too bad it's fucking dead. Anyways, guys, that's all I gotta say. Hope you guys had fun. My name's Skylent. Thanks for listening to the rant, and I'll see you in the next one.